Hello Liverpool fans, welcome to Liverpool Voice. Breaking news that shocked England and all of Europe began spreading overnight, confirming beyond doubt that Jurgen Klopp is set to return to the management of Liverpool FC within the coming days following the sudden departure of Arne. News that has been received with mixed emotions among supporters, but carries enormous weight in the personal history of Klopp himself, as the man who had publicly announced a long break from football has now once again become the answer to a major question that had lingered in quiet uncertainty for days. In the first hours after the information leaked, many people refused to believe it, taking it as nothing more than another rumour from European media. But as major outlets began confirming the reports, it quickly became official that Klopp himself has once again been entrusted with the responsibility of leading the club that once became his home for so many years. Reports indicate that negotiations were extremely short and conducted in complete secrecy, as the club's leadership wanted to first be certain that Klopp was truly willing to return without damaging the dignity of the rest period he had taken in peace. People close to Klopp say he did not rush his answer and took time to think in calm reflection, evaluating his life, his current level of energy, his dreams, and the persistent voice inside him that for some time had been pushing him back toward the place where everything had become history. It is said that just a few weeks ago, a direct discussion took place involving senior club executives, during which Klopp was clearly informed that he was needed again, not for temporary assistance, but for a full return to leadership as things had once been. Those who know him well say that he did not smile at that moment, nor did he show visible excitement, because the decision in front of him carried serious weight for his personal life, his family, and his future in football. It is reported that the night following that discussion was one of deep inner conflict, as he replayed his entire journey in his mind, the endless high-pressure days, the emotional intensity, the joy of victories, and the pain of moments when success fell just short of expectations. Sources say that by the following morning, he delivered his final answer, confirming that he would return, but under one firm condition only: that he would not come back as a man trying to chase the past, but as someone prepared to confront a new era. From the moment the confirmation became official, the atmosphere in Liverpool changed immediately, with reports suggesting that the emotional rhythm of the city shifted, streets turning into centres of constant conversation built around a single phrase, "Klopp is coming back," even though no one had yet seen him. Reliable sources confirm that he is expected to arrive in England within the coming days and begin work immediately without taking further rest, as the existing plans require him to step straight into full responsibility. People close to him in recent hours describe him as unusually calm, yet carrying within that calm a sense of quiet courage that comes from knowing he is about to walk back into a fire he once chose to leave. Klopp himself has not spoken to the media since confirming his return, but reports suggest that his first public words will be simple, not lengthy, yet heavier than long speeches. Senior figures in European football have described this development as one of the most significant managerial stories of recent times, because a coach who had openly decided to step away has now chosen to return to the very intensity he once exited. Analysts are already saying that Klopp's return is not merely a professional comeback, but a return to a life he lived fully for years, a life of pressure, speed, scrutiny, and living daily under the eyes of the world. It is believed that in his initial days, he will focus first on internal leadership discussions before shaping his personal working plans, and that he will not prioritize public statements, but structural direction. Throughout his career, Klopp has been known as a man who does not act without considering consequences, making this return not a decision driven by emotion alone, but one grounded in careful reflection. Witnesses who saw him shortly before preparing for his journey back say his face showed a form of quiet certainty, not built on public reaction, but on personal conviction that he is doing what his conscience demands. As this story continues to develop under intense global attention, one central question remains at the heart of every discussion. What truly pushed Klopp to step back into the pressure he once walked away from, and what does he now seek in the days ahead? While many answers remain hidden, one fact is already clear and undeniable: his return is only days away. And as each day passes, tension and curiosity continue to rise sharply, placing Jurgen Klopp alone at the centre of one of the biggest football stories in the world. As the countdown to his arrival reached its final hours, activity around Liverpool FC quietly intensified, with security arrangements tightened and internal schedules adjusted in anticipation of a moment that many inside the city described as unreal yet inevitable. And in the early hours of the morning, his aircraft finally touched down on English soil under heavy media protection, with no public announcement made in advance, no broadcast confirmation at the airport itself, and no official welcome staged for the cameras, only the silent understanding that the man at the centre of the storm had returned. Witnesses present at the private terminal described Klopp stepping onto the tarmac slowly, wearing a dark coat, carrying no visible entourage, his posture calm and controlled, showing neither celebration nor tension, only the focused stillness of someone who knows exactly where he is going and why. Within minutes, he was escorted into a waiting vehicle and transported directly toward the city, avoiding public exposure as much as possible. Yet even without being seen, word of his physical arrival spread at extraordinary speed, racing through social media and local radio faster than any official statement could have done. By the time his vehicle reached the inner roads of Liverpool, small crowds had already formed in scattered locations, not summoned by announcements but by instinct alone. People standing quietly, some with phones lowered, others simply watching the empty road as if trying to feel rather than see his presence. Sources close to the situation confirm that upon reaching the training grounds, Klopp did not proceed immediately to formal meetings or media duties. Instead, he requested a brief period of isolation inside the building, believed to be his first moment completely alone on site since his return, a moment described as deeply personal and necessary for alignment rather than for ceremony. Several minutes later, he emerged and began what insiders describe as a tightly structured sequence of internal engagements, all carried out behind closed doors with no images released and no statements issued, reinforcing the sense that this return was being treated not as a public spectacle, but as a professional reset. Those who crossed paths with him during these hours describe his demeanour as unusually composed, his movements deliberate, his communication measured, showing no signs of overwhelm despite the global attention fixed upon him. By midday, it became clear that his first full day back would end without any press appearance, a decision reportedly made by Klopp himself, who is said to have preferred action over words at this stage of his return. Despite the absence of visuals or direct quotes, the effect of his presence was already being felt across the city, with traffic patterns shifting, local media entering continuous coverage mode, and international broadcasters switching to round-the-clock monitoring of developments connected to his comeback. In the late afternoon, confirmation quietly emerged that Klopp had completed his first full internal briefing since returning, though no details were released regarding its content, reinforcing the narrative that he intends to let his work speak before his voice. As evening approached, his vehicle was seen departing the training complex under controlled conditions, signalling the conclusion of a first day that unfolded almost entirely away from public view, yet carried enormous symbolic weight. Analysts across Europe immediately began interpreting the secrecy of the day as intentional, reading it as a statement that this return would not be built on nostalgia or spectacle, but on structured purpose and discipline. By nightfall, the city settled into a strange calm, one shaped not by uncertainty, but by the quiet certainty that something significant had already begun moving beneath the surface. Though the man himself had remained largely unseen, his impact was unmistakable, felt in the altered rhythm of conversation across streets and screens alike. As of this moment, no official press conference has yet been scheduled, and no public timeline has been confirmed for his first appearance before the media, but sources indicate that when he does speak, it will be on his own terms, and at a moment he considers appropriate for setting direction, rather than explaining emotion. What remains undeniable is that Jurgen Klopp is now physically back in Liverpool, not as a memory and not as a rumour, but as a present force once again shaping the immediate future of the club, with the coming days expected to bring further developments as his second chapter formally begins under the weight of global attention and expectation.